Let me try that again. Hello, welcome to the stream, y'all. How's it going? It's Katie here. It is early. It's morning again. Again, great. Anywho, let me see if I can turn this on and show y'all my very dead-looking face. Okay, fantastic. See my government glasses. How you can? There's no like anti-reflective coating on these babies. We love to stay we love to stay nearsighted. Anyway, today we have a Metafy session that we're going to be doing. Soar, hello, mwah, 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 welcome. I've also got the the daddy look going on today. The aftershave not being there. So I'm fine with that, whatever. So yeah, we are going to be doing a Metafy session. We're going to be we're going to be talking about disadvantage today. Disadvantage is one of the, hi Miario, how are you? Girl, love you so much. You're so pretty. My goal is to get my hair as long as yours. Mason, yes, hello. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about disadvantage with Zelda. And disadvantage with Zelda is, I think it's something that like really separates like a good Zelda from a bad Zelda. Or should I say like a Zelda still in training. Simply because Zelda is, you know, being a glass cannon, it can be very, very difficult for Zelda to get out of, a lot of frustrating situations. Artemis, hello. I also saw, weren't you like popping off or something recently? Did I see that? I think I saw that. Anywho, let's go ahead and get this call started with our student, Dave. And then I'll go in more into depth. Hello, Dave,
Hello?
are you there?
Hi there.
Hi, how's it going?
Going all right. How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm having an excellent hair day today. So I mean like that's it for me. Like that's all I need to be good. To be good and ready to go.
Congrats. Hair day.
Yes, thank you. I think it's because I washed it. But anyway, so so like I was saying, we're gonna be talking about we're gonna shift focus. Um, Originally, week 2 in the Zelda guide with me on Metafy, which is like a lesson plan that you can or training guide rather that you can buy. I go over advantage state, but we're actually going to go over disadvantage state this week instead. And you know, Dave, I think you were saying, you know, a little bit ago that, you know, you tend to do well with Zelda overall, but you stated that in the matches that you lose, it's usually because you get overwhelmed and you have a hard time like resetting back to neutral and getting space away from pressure. Which that's very difficult, and I know it's a common struggle that a lot of Zelda players have, and it's mainly because she's designed to be like once you get in on her and her space, it's very difficult for her to effectively keep people off of her. And that's why, of course, like you know, I think that a lot of people, like you said, you like to use her neutral special, you like to use Nehru's to get out of those situations. So something that like I really try to instill, I firmly believe this, and this is something I would definitely like type down, like one of the first things from today, would be that Nehru's love is technically, in my opinion, it is not a disadvantaged tool. And this is because when someone fights against Zelda, like, right, like if they know that, like you go into a tourney or a bracket and like they know that they're going to be fighting a Zelda player, if they've fought Zelda before, they're usually looking for two different things. They're actively going to be shielding a lot against Zelda, because it's very hard for Zelda to break shield. And all of Zelda's moves are unsafe on shield. Every single one of them. I think I showed you that before, but we were going over looking at like her frame data, which actually I think that'd be a good idea for me have that pulled back up. So I'm going to pull that up real fast.
Lovely.
Yeah, but her frame data is, it can be fast, but like when we're talking about like when it's negative, it can definitely be an issue. So I'm gonna go ahead and
yeah, we were talking about her most safe tools are up tilt, down tilt, and neutral layer, right?
Yeah, so like anything, of course, can be punished, within reason. There's counterplay to everything in this game, and that's what sort of makes it very, very complex compared to like other fighters. But yeah, in uh, in neutral, especially, those are like pretty much her safest tools overall. And when I say that, like if you hit somebody's shield with up tilt, and I'm gonna like start this on your end, so you can share my screen. Let me know when you can see that.
Perfect.
Okay. So like if we take a look like at up tilt, like up tilt is very good because it's only 29 frames from start to finish, like we talked about last time. And it's very quick. It's active for a long time. But when you hit somebody's shield, if you hit them with this part of the move, if they shield it here, you still have to finish all of this, which means you're completely vulnerable. So that's why it says -15 on shield. However,
you're better off back.
Correct, if you can, and you
have to be able to do it quicker.
Well, that, and you have to space it. So like this is the last hit. So if you hit with this hit, it's only -3 on shield, which I find isn't very common because usually if you take a look at the last 3 frames, this is the last active frame, this is the frame before it, and this is the frame before it, they all still generally hit right around this area. So chances are if your opponent is shielding, you're probably going to hit them on this frame. It's less likely that you'll hit them on this frame or this frame because you'll probably hit their shield here, if that makes sense. So this, yeah, so this makes the move pretty much -5 on shield if you hit with the last part of it, and you can guarantee that by spacing it. So you really want to make sure your opponent's here. So -5 on shield is usually considered a safe move, because most opponents, even though you're down 5 frames, they usually don't have something that they can throw out that's like frame 5 or faster. Because if you're down 5 frames, that means that they basically have 5 frames on you. So if they have a out of shield option that's frame 6, if you hold shield after hitting their shield with this move, that means you're down 5 frames. So you can actually buffer shield out of this, and your shield will come up on frame 1, which would be the same frame that their attack would come out. So again, like if they have a frame 6 option and they're waiting to use that after you hit their shield, they're like, okay, I'm going to use my frame 6 option. They should be able to punish you if you were -6 on shield, because if they use a move that's frame 6, that means by the time that you are actionable again, you would get hit. But since your move's only -5, that means you're actionable on the same frame that their attack comes out. Again, if their move is frame 6, for example. So usually, like, this is where, like, a lot of characters, this sort of is more about neutral, but this is where a lot of characters, like Sephiroth, where like Palutena, for example, they really shine because they're able to play like this game with their aerials, where they can like land on your shield with like a nair, or a fair or a bear, and it's like only -5 or less. So because of that, it really limits the ability to punish them because they can always do something different. Like, for example, and I'm actually going to show this, because I'm going to go over this just a little bit. But this is from last year, and I was actually watching this in person. This is Ven, which is, arguably the best Zelda player, and this is Mysterica, and she's arguably one of the best Zelda players as well. Well, I mean, I know she is, but so this is going to be a Palu who is very, very proficient in Zelda, going against a Zelda. And so because of that, this is a person who knows exactly how to punish their character, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to be, in my opinion, like the best way for you to see like what Ven does in disadvantage. And And the thing is Ven loses this set, you know, pretty convincingly because, you know, May sort of has an advantage here. She's very aware of how Zelda works. So I think that's just going to be best for you to be able to see that. Hi, Wally. Thanks for being here. So like right here is a good example of just something to do at low percent. So like right here, I think a lot of Zelda players, like, or newer Zelda players, like they're going to take the option to usually like throw out Nehru's right here because they're like, oh shit, I've been hit. But the thing I want to point out, okay, is let's take a look real fast at Nehru on here. So Nehru's covers like a lot around her, and it's, you know, it's a good situation to be in when, you know, the situation calls for it. But when you're in disadvantage, especially at such a low percent, like all Palu has to do is, like, knowing your Zelda, is just walk up and shield here. Because this move is negative 25 on shield, which means they have literally half a second to do anything they want to. Yeah. Not to mention that when you do it in the air, not only are you negative 25 on shield, but you still have to fall and hit the ground. So you're even more vulnerable when you do it in the air. So a lot of Zelda players, I think, again, this like separates them. You don't want to use this move in disadvantage because let's compare it. So this takes 11 frames for the attack to start out, and you're intangible on frame 4, which means that on frame 4, even if they try to hit you, intangible means that your hurt box is literally not present. So it's not that you're invincible, it's you're intangible. So it's like you're gone. You cannot be interacted with, right? That's what that means. So it's from frame 4 to 13. That's 9 frames. Now, if we do this by comparison, let's just take a look at your neutral air dodge.
The tangibility is a lot shorter than I thought it was.
Yeah, you're not intangible for very long. It's an excellent reflector. It lasts for 37 frames from frame 4 to frame 40. But it's not really like a counter. A counter, you're it feels like one, but it's not, because the counter, like, you're invincible for about, like, it has a later startup on frame 7, but like Palu, for example, her counter, she's only invincible for like 20 frames or something. But it's still like, that's a lot longer than like this is. It's just because they function a little different. So if we look at this, the move from start to finish is 57 total frames, Nehru's, 57 total frames. So basically a second, because there's 60 frames in a second. You're intangible on frame 4 to 13, only 9 frames of intangibility. And it basically, like, this doesn't show, but again, 57 total frames, that means it takes a while for it to end. Let's compare this to her neutral air dodge, right? Because this is something else you could do. Your neutral air dodge only has 10 frames of landing lag. So when you air dodge and you land, that's 1/6 of a second before you can act. You're invulnerable, not just intangible, you're invulnerable on frame 3. So this is 1 frame faster than Nehru's.
That move has invulnerability? I just most hitboxes.
So you mean like Nehru's?
Yeah, no, oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was new.
Oh no, you're fine. I wish. So in neutral air dodge, you air dodge and you don't use a direction. There's, you know, because if you use a direction, it's a little weird how the coding is in this game, but like if you air dodge away from your opponent, it actually is going to have more landing lag than if you were to air dodge towards them. That's why if you look right here, it says air dodge like diagonally up or air dodge diagonally down. It says 11 to 19 frames. If you air dodge away from them, you're going to get more frames. It's like more of a punish because you're getting away from them. But if you air dodge closer to them, you get less lag. So that being said, neutral air dodge is like just so much better in terms of what we are trying to use Nehru's for, which is like to get out of a situation. Because you throw out your air dodge It comes out on frame 3. So again, it's 1 frame faster. And this, your air dodge is, you're invulnerable from frame 3 to 30. That's 28 frames that you're invincible. Compare it to Nehru's, you're only intangible for 9 frames. So neutral air dodge literally gives you 3 times as much of a chance to get out. Not to mention that you're not hitting your opponent's shield, so they can't like shield anything, and you're only vulnerable for 10 frames when you land. So you can get out of that situation very, very quickly. Something the Skino does, which I think I talked to you about them before. Something they do a lot in disadvantage, and I will point it out to you, is they will jump high and then they will fast fall first, which is just by hitting down in the air, and then they will air dodge. And fast fall air dodge is like a very, very good tactic in this game, but a lot of Zelda players don't do it, and it's because she's floaty. So they don't think she can get out of those situations, but she actually can. Ben and I were joking about this, and we were like, girl, like that's the only thing missing from like our game plan. We just need to fucking do fast fall air dodge and like we'll be fine. Like we're missing like the final piece of our play. But anyway, so I'm gonna go back here. So you can see that right here, like you could Nehru's or you could neutral air dodge, right? Ben throws out bear. So usually when you're in disadvantage, it's a good rule of thumb for you to have that, and I would write this down, is that if I am in disadvantage, I have not earned the right to hit back my opponent, right? Because your goal is to reset neutral, and people make the mistake of trying to take their turn, quote unquote, and try to like attack sooner than they should be able to. So in this case, Ven is very aware of like the matchup and what Zelda is capable of and what Palu is capable of. So that's definitely why Ben in this situation decided to throw out that bear, because it's frame 6. So it's 2 frames slower, but it's also the fact that Palu was like right in the perfect position for this kick to hit. Now, this is an exception to the rule. So you'll see that Ven, the better that you get, like the more that you can sort of like stray from that principle. But I think that when you're fighting a character that's better than you, or better than Zelda, it's usually a good rule of thumb to just lay low. And when you're hit, your goal is not, okay, how do I hit them back? Because sometimes we think we need to hit them back in order to like breathe, in order to like get them off of us so we can like think. But your only goal is, okay, how do I get back to center stage? How do I reset neutral? And the way you reset neutral, like if you're focused on hitting your opponent, you're not focused on resetting neutral. So does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so let's watch this a little more. So right there, so right here, the last time Ben tried to kick and he tried to kick again, but obviously they're not close enough. So he calls out the approach with Nehru's, and this is where Nehru's can be good. It can get you out of disadvantage situations like that. But the reason that I'm saying that you don't want to use it in disadvantage, which is like basically how Ven did, is he's already how do I word this? He's already shown what I'm talking about. So because the first time he was in disadvantage, he did not use Nehru's, it makes it more of a mix-up to use it later in disadvantage. You can use it as a mix-up in disadvantage, absolutely, because of how good it is. I mean, yes, it's the reason that it's good is because the hitbox and the intangibility overlap. That's what makes it kind of a busted move, because you're intangible on frame 4 to 13, but the hitbox begins on frame 11. So before your intangibility ends, so for 2 frames, you can't be hit, and there's a hitbox in where you were. So that's how it trips people up, because they try to jump in and try to hit you, and you basically take your body out of that scenario, and you're like, I'm not here, and then you put a hitbox in place of it while you're still gone. So that's what makes it good. So in this situation, because Ven did bear first, that kind of like threw or Mysterica a little bit off balance, and so Mysterica got a little comfortable here, thinking that they could like come off and approach. And so that's why Nehru's worked in that scenario. So you won't see Ven using it very often. Like well, technically you will, but like you won't see it every single time. Correct. You'll see it as a mix-up. See, and like how I talked about down tilt's good, but like down tilt is -10 on shield. So down tilt, even down tilt, it's punishable. So you really have to be very, very careful when it comes to like how you hit your opponent's shield. And the reason that Zelda is designed this way, again, at least in my opinion, is because Zelda has the Phantom. And so if Zelda has Phantom charged and she hits someone's shield, the Phantom can follow up. And so because of that, if they made all of her aerials like super safe on shield, then she would be probably too oppressive and probably would be broken because, you know, you've got this Phantom coming after you. She would always be able to get like a grab, like if she hit your shield with a move that was only like -4 or something, you know. So that's why she's designed that way. So because of that, she's really not meant to fight without Phantom set up. So like right here, in like my opinion, like after this mist, like Ven should back off, right? That and technically you should, because you have a character that's like, oh, I'm pretty good if I hit your shield, like there's no downside really. But with Zelda, if she hits Palu's shield, there is a downside, and we see that here. See, Palu hits Zelda's shield, and technically Ven does spot dodge here, but there's nothing Ven can really do to punish Palu's fair. Maybe first hit up B is like the fastest choice, but it's still like a risk to throw that out. So Ven throws out down tilt, gets punished. So, okay, so now we're in disadvantage. We just lost our advantage state pretty easily. So Ven's like immediately going to the ledge in that scenario, which is smart because a lot of Zeldas and Ven too, something they'll do right here is they'll double jump charge Phantom. And I don't agree with this because, again, if we have the rule for ourselves that Phantom is like a bait tool, it's not a percentage tool, then we shouldn't be setting up Phantom off stage anyway, because one, the opponent can avoid it. Two, it covers the ledge, but like, I mean, when you're on the ledge, it's a gamble anyway, no matter what character you are. So like setting up Phantom is sort of like this like fake, in my opinion, it's kind of like this way to like make people scared, because it can cover you getting back to the ledge, but like in my opinion, it's just not worth it. So like right here, like that's what Mysterica was calling out. They're like, you're gonna double jump charge Phantom, and that's why they waited, double jump bear. But Ven knew that, so Ven went to the ledge here. So one thing, a disadvantage that you have to be aware of is the longer that you're off stage, the more invincibility you'll have when you grab the ledge. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes.
I knew that the higher your lesson, I didn't realize the amount of time spent off stage.
100%. And as a matter of fact, the more resources that you use off stage, in part, will give you more invincibility. So there's a couple factors. So if you were to be knocked into the top right corner, I think you'll see a lot of characters they'll like buffer forward air dodge out of their disadvantage. I don't know if you've seen that before, to sort of like prevent them.
I have. I've learned it's a bad idea.
It can be bad. It can be bad. But what is interesting is if you were to do that and then like you were to like wait and then like double jump and then wait and then up B and then grab the ledge, you're gonna have so much more invincibility than if you just up B and grab the ledge immediately. And so the reason that's good is because you can mix between them. So like in this situation, like you see that Ven knows that they were probably going to get smacked, but Ven could have gone low here, but they decided to just try to get back on stage immediately. And next time you'll probably see Ven like take their time. So Ven starts off pretty well here. Yeah, that's true. So things are reset here. So this is something I kind of just want to point out because we've talked about like, well, so like one part of disadvantage is like, how do I prevent myself from being put in disadvantage? So in like this situation, Ben should have just dashed up and shielded, because if somebody hits the Phantom, it actually extends their hitbox, so it makes it like stay out for longer. So Palu knows this, so Palu lets go, does Nair, and is able to just like call out Ven approaching. So in this scenario, when you're ledge trapping, when you've got Phantom and you charged it, it goes out, a good thing to mix in, like I would say like maybe 50% of the time, is just like walking up and shielding. Because usually people will try to like let go, double jump and hit you, or they'll try to like get up attack, and that's like a free grab. Which grab is kind of hard to get with Zelda, so doing that like 50% of the time while you're trying to like ledge trap is pretty good. Because the other thing is that if you shield and they were to like jump over you, or they were to like roll past you, or they were to like do neutral get up, most of those things are still reactable. Or you can always back off in those scenarios and you won't be hit. So like in this situation, a lot of people, including Ben and like me too, like you get the feeling that like, oh, okay, like, you know, I just threw out a hitbox, so let me throw out another one, so that you run up and you're like ready to just try to keep the pressure going, but they're like ready for it. So if Ben had just like walked up and shielded here, Ben would have just been better off. So that's just something to sort of keep in mind. That's more of an advantage state type of thing, more of a ledge trapping thing specifically. But it's important to try to know how to mitigate getting put in disadvantage. So we'll go more into that next week, but I just wanted to point that out while I was looking. So, okay. So something we see right here, Ven's getting comboed. Now, technically what Ven could do here is Ven could air dodge away, Ven could Nehru's, Ven could try to like land with a Nair or attack back, basically, like we saw at the beginning of the fight. Or Ven could try to like just go off stage and go back to the ledge. Something that can be really, really good is like when you're getting comboed by a character that can easily juggle you, like Palu, like Cloud. Sometimes we try to like hit them back, or sometimes we try to like just like directional air dodge like through their stuff, but usually the best thing for you to do is just try to get to the ledge. And so like even if you air dodge away and they hit you one more time, at least you only got hit once before you could like DI out and then go to the ledge again to have a better chance of resetting neutral from the ledge than having someone that's like disjointed with a sword like Cloud, or like Palu's up air like beneath you, because Zelda does not want people beneath her. It's always been one of her weakest places to be in. So right here you can see that Ven went for Nair, didn't work out. Ven tried to use Nehru's to drift, but all Palu has to do, again, being like a top tier character, they can just, all Masirka's doing is she's just going to stay here and she's just going to short hop, see? And she did fast fall because she's trying to make you think I'm going to jump at you. But she just says short hop, fast fall. So you have to be very wary of when people do this, because you can see that Ven reacted to it with Nehru's. So watch, I want you to watch Palu. Palu's going to do a short hop. See, so she did that just to see what Ven would do, because that keeps her actionable, lets her react. So because Ven saw that, Ven was like, oh crap, she's probably going to try to up air me again. So Ven does Nehru's then, but it just doesn't work. So do you see what I mean by like...
So Palu's using short hops to bait out something.
100%.
Zelda comes down and Palu can just go up there.
Correct. Yeah. So you can see how like Nehru's was used in disadvantage there, but it didn't do anything. If anything, it stalls your momentum in the air and it just makes you easier to get to. So it's pretty cut and dry. Like when you use
that's interesting. I use that I've used that stall as a way to throw off their,
and that can work, yes. But again, yeah, if this is like why I'm trying to show you, like at the highest level, you've got like literally the two best Zelda players like ever to ever have played this game, fighting each other, and one of them is using a better character. So this is really important for people to see, because it allows you to really see like what's punishable, what's not. Now, like using Nehru's there to like stall is fine when you're off stage. If your opponent can't hit you, Like, you can use Nehru's to stall, because if you're stalling, the longer you wait, the more invincibility you'll have when you grab the ledge. So, like, that's fine. But you can even see, like, just in this scenario, like, Palu jumps out, lands with Dare, and, like, Zelda just drops shield. Like, Zelda probably couldn't really do anything because it's pretty safe. So Palu buffers spot dodge, then Ven, like, takes the opportunity to try to get out. But, like, if Ven had stayed in place there and tried to do anything, like, it would have gotten grabbed. So it's important to know, like, while you're in disadvantage, like, what your opponent is looking for. Yes, give Zelda bats within. Oh my god, that she needs something like that. Also, let's just talk about it real quick. I think it's really BS that Rosalina and Mewtwo and Palu are all characters that when they, like, dodge or they roll or whatever, they disappear. But Zelda's the only character with a teleport that doesn't. I think that's just stupid. Like, girl,
I never realized that.
yeah, that's not fair. Like, what?
Right.
That's, and Sheik too. Sheik has a teleport, and they don't do that. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, that's just like
That doesn't make
yeah,
either.
it's a cosmetic thing. I'm pissed. Whatever. so then gets out of the situation. Sets up Knight. Yeah, now you can see, like, right here, they used it as an advantage tool, and this is where I think Nehru's is good. Because right here, like, the Phantom's going off, Mysterica's like, okay, I'm just not going to entertain it. I'm not going to let you get any follow-ups. So this can be really hard to keep your advantage state with Zelda, because if your opponent just knows to just run away from it, then it's like, what do you do? Well, if you use the Phantom as a tool to see what your opponent does in response to it, rather than using it as a tool to hit someone with, you will feel a lot less like flustered, because your goal is changed. It's not like, oh, I need to hit them with the Phantom. It's that I'm going to set up the Phantom every opportunity I can and being annoying as hell and just see how they react to it. And then every time they react to it, I'm going to remember, okay, all right, they jumped away there in the corner. So the next time I'm in the corner and I charge the Phantom, I have a feeling that they know they can jump away. So if I cover that, you know what I'm saying, then I'm better off next time, rather than, like, trying to, like, hit them, and then because I tried to hit them, I'm not in a position to punish whatever they did in response to the Phantom, because I'm too busy trying to hit them, like, into the Phantom or whatever. But anyway, so Ven runs off here, goes for up air, doesn't come out, throws out Nehru's. May shielded, or Mysterica shielded here, but Mysterica let go of shield, and that's the only reason that it worked. But this is why Nehru's is good, is because Nehru's is a multi-hit move, and if Ben had, like, tried to throw out a single hit attack, like a down tilt or like up tilt or whatever, Mysterica could have shielded that one hit and then let go of shield, and that's what they were expecting. So that's what Nehru's does for you in advantage, because it's a multi-hit move that you can use on the ground that surrounds your body. That allows you to, like, bait people to shield, because they think, like, oh shit, like, I'm gonna get hit because I missed. But a lot of people will shield and then they immediately let go of shield because they're just anticipating shielding one attack. I'm sure you've done that before. You've, like, Nehru'd and somebody was shielding, but they end up letting go. Right, that's why. It's because they're used to fighting characters that will land on their shield with, like, one move, right? But Zelda has this as a mix-up. So again, advantage state mix-up, best use for this. So setting up Phantom, we're ledge trapping here. That's another thing people do. This is where shielding right here, again, would have been in Ven's best interest. You have not seen Ven just shield here yet. Ven's gotten hit twice. When someone get up attacks after the Phantom goes off, they're doing that because they hit the Phantom. So it's going to make their get up attack last longer. Get up attack usually only lasts 3 frames, but when they hit the Phantom, it's going to be out for at least, like, 6. So if Ven had just walked up and shielded, if you shield a get up attack, it's one of the most punishable things in this game. Ven could have done anything they wanted. They could have kicked, they could have grabbed, they could have, which grab is usually the best option. Could have upbeat out a shield. Like at this percent, Ven should have just, like, grabbed. I'll show that one more time. Just shield that and grab. Because again, if you shield and they didn't get up attack, you're still fine, right? Like, let's say they roll past you, you can at least like let go of shield and like turn around and grab them. Like, there's many things that we'll go over next week when we go over advantage, but still good to point these things out so that way when you're watching other Zelda gameplay, you can kind of keep. Okay, so Ven is swinging. So Ven's in disadvantage. Ven's swinging. Okay, the fair I'm okay with. They try to do fair again. Just easily punishable. Fair has like 15 frames of landing lag. So I mean, like, it's quick. It's like only a fourth of a second, but it's still a window to be punished. You know? And what do most people do after they whiff an attack? They shield. So grab is still going to beat shield in this situation. So the landing lag isn't even really like the problem. It's just the fact that like you're a high percent, you whiffed an attack. You're probably going to shield. So this to Mysterica's just sitting pretty. Because what does Mysterica do when Mysterica ledge traps? Watch. Shield. Just tries to back away. Throws out attacks, but maintains that position. See, and like that's why teleporting in disadvantage onto stage is a terrible idea. A lot of Zeldas do this too. They're like, I'm gonna skip the ledge. Don't ever skip the ledge. That's something I'd like you to write down. Don't skip the ledge. Don't, like, if you're right here, don't even look at the percent. Like, if you're right here, like, don't try to double jump back on and skip the ledge. Like, a lot of people like to do that as a mix-up, but it's like the risk versus reward. Like, if we do look at the percent, then overshooting the ledge here means if they get red, they die. So it would be better for you to at least go to the ledge, and that way you have a better chance to get back on stage, because at least you have something that they have to guess. Now, a lot of characters and a lot of players that are super good in this game, like, you know, they're very good at ledge trapping. So I mean, like, getting on the ledge can feel like a death sentence. It can feel like that you're going to die anyway, but I swear to God, you have a much better chance to get back to neutral from your disadvantage state if you go to the ledge, rather than trying to like basically just get out of it for free. And if you get out of it for free, it's meaning you're fighting someone who doesn't know how to punish you, you're fighting a character that doesn't know how to punish you, or you're fighting a player that's not as good as you. Those three things, unfortunately, can reinforce habits that will be punished by better players. So it can feel very oppressive when you play against people and you're losing and you're like, oh, I don't understand. Like, God, my character just sucks. Like, oh, or I'm terrible. And it's really none of those reasons. It's just the first thing that we go to, which is bad for our mentality. But, you know, I think that, you know, some people, like, if we compare it to something else, like when we look at it in terms of like ignorance, like, you know, if my car breaks down on the side of the street, and I've driven cars for years, but my car breaks down and I know how to change a tire and I know how to change my oil, but I don't know how to like take my engine apart, and I don't know how to diagnose what the exact problem with my car is. Like, should I hold myself at fault and be like, you know, God, like I'm so stupid. Like, I don't know what I did wrong. Like, no, I don't understand how cars work. I don't have that information. I'm not a mechanic. So when you're in disadvantage and you're getting punished a lot by better players or things aren't working for you, it's important for us to like be a student of the game always. Because if you're looking at the game like, oh, okay, well, I know how to play my character and I do pretty well, but like I'm getting pressured a lot and I don't understand it. It's all about how you react to it. You want to make sure that like you learn this information so that way you understand the game. And if you understand the game, then you're less likely to like blame yourself. So you can see then like Mysterica threw out a down tilt and was still in the down tilt lag after they disappeared. See?
Yeah.
But because the recovery is so long, Mysterica can still just react to it. So a lot of characters that have like a fast dash attack, like that gap closes, that's what it's called, is a gap closer. Cover, it's like a burst option, but gap closer is also like another way to describe it. It's burst is referring more to like how fast it is. Gap closer is like just, you know, covering a distance in a small amount of time. So they're still able.
I see.
Yeah, so they're still able to punish you. So because of that, like we don't want to teleport onto the stage. If you're having trouble, like if you ever this is just me guessing, but like some people accidentally teleport onto the stage, myself included. At least I used to a lot because I was trying to recover from above and grab the ledge. But I would miss, and so I'd overshoot, and then I would land on stage, and then I'd be super punishable. If you're having trouble and that happens, just fall low and grab the ledge from below. Now, you can be two-framed, and I don't know if you know this, but you can be two-framed when you're recovering from below. If you recover horizontally, so if you look at my screen here, if you are here and you recover straight across, you can't be two-framed. You can be one-framed, but you cannot be two-framed.
I did not know that
yes,
either.
It's just how recoveries work in this game. And the reason that recovering from above is so attractive for characters with a teleport, because if you're right here and you recover above the ledge, you can't be two-framed at all. No matter what.
Huh.
You are 100% completely invincible. So when you reappear,
I had no idea.
yes, when you reappear from teleporting to the ledge from above, you will appear already grabbing the ledge and be invincible. Usually when people...
Is it because of the grab animation? Like that little, like...
Yes. So it's basically, like, a lot of characters can still do this, but, like, it's hard for, like, young Link to, like, grab the ledge. Like, the reason that they have this, I imagine, is because, like, let's say, like, Link is right here and Link does up B and he goes too far above, but then he grabs the ledge. He's vulnerable on the way down. So to compensate, when he grabs the ledge, he grabbed it from above, they're going to be like, okay, well, we're going to make sure that you're not vulnerable while grabbing the ledge, because that's not fair, right? Like, you up B'd, you went up here, so you were vulnerable on the way down. So we should at least give you the benefit of the doubt. But teleport...
I'm trying to remember if I've ever gone for a from a teleport.
It's hard.
If I try to aim, I usually love or like follow the legend.
Well, I will tell you this. Something that's important with teleports is that when you are teleporting and you're not full distance, even if you're not full distance, but like let's say you're right here and you're teleporting here. I don't know if you know this, but you angle the stick towards the ledge and then you have to let go. You have to let off.
And then you have to let go.
You have to let off of the stick.
Is that what causes me to bounce off of the, like, teleport and bounce off?
Yes. Because you didn't let go. So, I can sort of, we'll sort of like switch gears here. I don't think I did this last time, but I'm going to show you something on my stream's end. So let me end this. Hold on, just... You didn't know that, Filch? I felt like you did. Or no, wait, I still want to share my screen. I'll just share my whole screen. Okay. All right, so you should be able to see this. So I'm just going to go into training mode real fast, and I'm going to show you. But yeah, it's a lot of this stuff to me is very important to know for disadvantage, because like if you're trying to teleport to the ledge and like you feel like there's only so many ways you can do it, then it can feel kind of suffocating, you know, when you're in disadvantage.
From below up or coming from the side, like I feel fine. Teleporting down from up, I feel like I'm more likely to.
So like let's
I didn't know about the let go.
Yeah, so let's say I'm like right here. Like I let off the stick, like it's already built in my muscle memory, but like I let off the stick there. So like if I don't let off the stick, then like what's usually going to happen is I'll overshoot. Or like sometimes this will happen. Sometimes like you'll teleport, and what'll happen is you'll shoot straight up.
Yeah.
And
is that also because I'm not letting go?
Well, it's
that teleport in place where you grab the ledge. I've only on accident.
Okay, well, so we'll won't worry so much about the in place teleport, but like, so it's good to understand how Zelda's teleport works. So Zelda's teleport, like all teleports in this game, when you're in the air, unfortunately, they did this in Smash 4, and the reason they did this was because they were trying to simplify teleports. People would teleport from below, and they would get stuck on the stage, and they would die. So what they did is they made it to where when you teleport, you have to finish the whole teleport when you're in the air. And what will happen is if you teleport into something, like if I teleport from here, like I'm gonna just double jump, and I'll teleport straight down. Like I went a little bit forward. That's because when you run into the stage or a platform during the teleport, it's going to make you finish the distance of the teleport, and it's so you'll travel in the direction of whatever you landed on. So in this instance, since I'm teleporting and I'm facing forward, I'm facing like this way. If I teleport straight down, I go down and forward. And that's right. That's because I have to finish the teleport. Now, you can shorten teleports. Some people only know to do it like this, where you're just like teleporting and you're like holding down, or you're holding like down and forward, or like you barely tilt it. But you can actually
I've gotten good at like micro while on the ground.
Good.
On the air is a little bit harder.
Well, in the air you can actually use the C stick. So the C stick, if you input it during frames 12, 13, or 14 of her teleport, that's the full distance, like right here. You can see like the difference right there. That's the full distance. If you smack the C stick, he's gonna go like a lot shorter. Like you can see like right there, it's shortening the distance. And so because of that,
wait, can you show me the short distance?
Sure. So so the full distance is like pretty high up.
Huh? Oh, I didn't know about the C.
Yeah.
At all.
It's weird. So you only have 3 frames that you can input it. So if we look at Zelda's frame by frame,
don't want to do it. Want to do it right after hitting the button.
Basically. So like when you hit up B, she disappears on frame 17, I believe. So let's do up B. So frame 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So those are already this frame is the last frame that I can input the C stick in a direction and it'll shorten. So this is frame 14, frame 15, frame 16, frame 17. Gone on frame 17, she'll reappear on frame 35, I believe. So frame 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 30, 1, 2, 3, 5. Yep, and you can see her foot right up there.
So for clarify for my own, if I upbeat teleport, I'm only with the C stick, or I'm aiming with both sticks?
See, so this is, I hesitate calling this an option select, but in this, it should work in this stance. So what's kind of nice about this is you can hold after you input up B, you can hold the direction that you want to go no matter what with the analog stick. If for some reason you screw up using the C stick input, the analog stick will still be there because you only have 3 frames to input the C stick to shorten it. So if you were to screw that up, like let's say I up B, I'm gonna hold straight up. So like let's say if I screw this up, I want to teleport straight up, right? But what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna be holding up no matter what on my analog stick. But after I input the teleport, I'm going to try to shorten my teleport forward. Now, I was successful. If I wasn't successful, I would have teleported straight up because I'm still holding up with the analog stick. So that's why it's
so you keep holding up.
Yes, and so that way it benefits you because if you're like in a situation where like, let's say you want to like I don't know, like let's say I want to like recover from here, but I want to shorten it, like I'm still holding up towards the ledge anyway. But I will tell you that shortens are really only going to be used in like advantage. Like if for some reason like I want to like teleport cancel, but I want to like use a shorten with it, then that's going to be like something I'll do like in advantage or like maybe even in neutral as a mix-up. As long as you're just letting go of the stick, like right here, that's just me letting go. If I don't let go, that's what happens.
So you weren't using...
Not at all. Yep.
Let it go.
Right, not at all. Just let it go. Just using the normal analog stick. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll do little tricks like this. Like I'll just like I do that to fuck with people. Like, and then that's why like you'll see me do this sometimes, like as a mix-up to doing that.
Yeah.
Because like I'm trying to make them think I'm gonna teleport past them, and so they go running, and then I do it, or then I don't do it.
So how are you doing that in place? Is that
No, so this is actually like so people can get this with enough practice, but this is like kind of, in my opinion, this is like very, very like difficult. So and this is sort of like a cheesy way, in my opinion, to like get out of disadvantage, because I want to state this before I like show you how to do it or like just go over it. You are letting go of the ledge. So when you let go of the ledge, you are giving up all invincibility. So when you reappear and you re-grab the ledge, you don't get invincibility back. So that means that all someone has to do to beat this is they can just go, and they'll just hit you when you reappear. So,
yeah.
However, because the hitbox is so fucking big, it's really, really good when people try to like run up and like, you know how Ven was doing, like they'll run up and try to like hit at you, because this will beat that. You can either put the hitbox out or you can keep the hitbox out. And that depends on like the distance that you go at. But what I'm doing there, you can only re-grab the ledge 5 times, so that's why I died. But what I'm doing here is I'm letting go and double jumping like immediately. Like immediately. You can see where my double jump is. And then as soon as I let go and double jump, I'm already hitting up B. And then I'm holding forward straight into the ledge. So that's all so it's a little weird because I'm hitting.
So it's just a matter of being quick enough to go over.
Correct. And you have to go down.
You're not
you have to go
down at like some.
Right, because like if you go down too far, you'll do this. Because you have to finish the teleport. And then if you go too far up, you do that. So it's like sweet spotting this particular area. This is one of the few texts that, well, I wouldn't say few, but that's one of the texts that I discovered, like, just, like, screwing around with shit, because in Melee, like, Zelda was able to do something called Shino stalling, which you might be familiar with. It was something Sheik did a lot, because there was no limit to how many times you could grab the ledge and in Melee, so you could re-grab over and over and over, and every time you re-grabbed it, your invincibility refreshed. So some characters could like let go and re-grab the ledge while doing an attack, and so that way they could just like have little to no risk. So something Zelda could do is she could let go and she could double jump and up B, and during the wind up of up B, she could grab the ledge and cancel it. So you could just do that forever and just stay like super invincible until you decided that you wanted to like get back on the stage some. Anyway, so that's like a little mix up, but the main thing that like we want to talk about is just like going low is fine. And then are you aware of beefy up B? The terminology.
That is something that I learned. My understanding of it, teleporting to the ledge and you're holding down in order to attack out.
Correct.
And then let go. I haven't gotten the muscle memory to do it.
It's a little scary.
Sometimes when I try to go for it, I end up teleporting downward instead of
yeah. So what you want to do is you want to learn how to react to when Zelda disappears. So if you're holding up after Zelda disappears, you've already inputted up, so she should be teleporting straight up. If you're holding down before she disappears, that's what's going to happen, is you're going to teleport straight down. So it has to be like at least one frame after she disappears.
1 frame after.
At least,
okay, that makes sense.
Because that way you're at least, you're gone, and it's like, okay, bitch, like what direction are we going? So you're holding up. So that should, if that makes sense, like you said. So, yeah. So, okay.
Just kind of think about it and following the act.
Right, 100%. So, something that's good about Beefy Up B, and something Ven does a lot, is that you have a mix-up with it. You can grab the ledge, like, immediately, like, just by, like, teleporting and holding, like, letting go. Or if you teleport at an angle and you hold down, you can actually still keep your hitbox out. And so I'm not holding down. I'm just holding the same. I'm just keeping the angle. Because remember, if you don't let go of the if you don't let go of the analog stick, then you won't grab the ledge. So what you want to do is you want to just like not let go. And so what that'll do is it'll keep that hitbox out. And Ven does that.
So that still aims properly without letting go of this stick.
Yeah, but you just have to be very on point with your angles. So angles like that takes practice, and that was something that I used to do. Like, you know, a lot of drills that I used to do in this was like I would just sit here and I would just like lab these like teleport cancels, and I would just like figure out different ways to, you know, just like, and it just takes practice. And so like figuring out how to do like the cancels like from here like really kind of helped me like learn the angle of just like being out here and wanting to grab it. Because sometimes as a mix-up, like this is gonna look cheesy, but I'll just show you. Well, like
I'm starting to get teleport somewhat down from center stage. I cannot get the platform at all.
Well, so you can, you just haven't yet. So I would, you know, stick to, you know, the vernacular that we want to manifest.
Sure. Yeah.
And secondly, there's many different ways that you can do it, but like it just takes practice. I'm not kidding you when I tell you that like I spent hours every day like practicing like this specific cancel because I couldn't, it's like I couldn't get it. And it's a little bit more lenient than I think people realize, because when I do my double jump here,
double jump when you're
yeah, I'm doing jump, double jump, up B, and I'm sort of like double jumping in the middle of my full hop. So you can see that like if I do full hop, double jump, up B, like I go straight down.
Yeah.
See, like that doesn't work.
So it's not an instant double jump. It's not a full jump.
Right, it's like a half instant
sort of
double
that,
jump.
Like, short hop distance, but not a short hop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. 100%. Yes. Oh, Jace, hi.
Said something about teleport cancel.
No, you're fine, girl. Like you're totally cool. You're totally cool. So like something I'll do, like I just wanted to say this real fast, but like something I'll do in advantage, just as like a mix up, is because like usually Zelda like charges Phantom, you know, and that's all fine and dandy. But something I'll do is like I'll like hit them. Oh, that's gonna kill her. Like I'll hit them and like I'll like jump off, and I'll do that to like, you know what I mean? Like I'll actually like actively jump off because they're like expecting me to like hit them or to try to dare them or something, and like I'll just like teleport back to the ledge, and I do that because that allows me to throw them for a loop.
Yeah, that's a clever mix.
And sometimes the problem is that like if you grab too early, like and they grab after you, you're the one that gets popped off. So like there is definitely some caution that you with it, but like it can still be pretty good. It just depends. Anyway, so yeah, so that's what you're gonna want to do for your advantage state is number one, make sure that you're not using Nehrus. Like first of all, and I know that's gonna feel weird, but like, do you play any other characters in this game? I don't know if we talked about that.
Yeah, my second.
Right. Okay. So this also applies for Mewtwo. Mewtwo's is just like harder, because he doesn't have a hitbox, but like you can still overshoot. So like you let go, you'll grab the ledge pretty quickly. Also Mewtwo has teleport cancels that I could show you too sometime. He's got some weird ones. Like he's got some in-place cancels, which is very unique to him. Like he can be like right here and just teleport cancel, and he'll like cancel off the ledge.
Teleport, like he spot at the edge to like teleport off the edge and then as I'm falling.
Oh yeah, it's super cute. It's super cool. Something that's fun with Zelda is being able to teleport and then like put the Phantom out immediately, so that way. Yeah.
I've never seen
Oh, so it's kind of cool.
With the Phantom, I mean.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because like you can place the Phantom and then like, you know, like just do crazy shit. But it still requires like a lot of setup and a lot of you have to have like a lot of time because your opponent isn't just gonna like sit there, especially like a Palutena. They're not gonna just sit there and let you do that stuff. Anyway, so what I want to like kind of go over in terms of like disadvantage, we've isolated the fact that like you use Nehrus like to get people off of you, and that can work for you, but then it's like it stops working. I imagine it's because people are shielding. People, when they fight a Zelda, they're like, oh, okay, she's going to use Nehrus. And so the number one thing they expect is the fact that like they can shield any of your moves. That's why Zelda has good frame data. She's like it feels like she can box because if you hit them, it's fast and like you can follow up and stuff, you know? But the problem is that if they shield it, it doesn't matter if they shield down tilt, up tilt, or short hop nair. Every single one of them, you're punishable. So that's why she's like not a boxer. She has good boxing tools, but she's more for calling out someone's approach. She's not for like, hey, I'm just gonna go at you. Right? So it's like, that's why it should, hopefully it feels a little bit more clear that like your game plan is to set up Phantom, and your game plan in neutral is to like bait people, outsmart them, but like never like try to just like go at them. And that's why like I see so many Zeldas do this. They'll be like, and it's just like that's one of the worst things you can do as Zelda, because in that same time frame you could have been like doing this to like just like bait them to come in on you, you know? And I think I showed you that in that set we were watching against the Wario player. Last time in our last session, like I was like on the platform and I did like something like this. And I landed the up tilt because like I threw out the dare and then I just ran afterwards instead of like throwing out dare and then like doing a grab or something.
Yeah, I remember that moment. Platform. That was near the beginning of the match.
Right. So, and it happened a couple times throughout. So, it's just important to know that, you know, like we talked about last time, like in neutral, you want to be safe, and when you're in advantage, you want to set up your Phantom. Phantom is not a percentage tool, it's a baiting tool. It's a tool for you to see how your opponent is acting in response to it, so that way you can call out what they do next time. And then once you get sent into disadvantage, you don't want to just be using Nehru's like all the time. Because if you rely on that, the other issue, and again, I'm not trying to like shade Zelda players, but I know this from personal experience. I feel like it's stunted my growth because I had such a good move to get people off of me. I didn't have to really like think about what it would be like if I didn't have that move. And if I had to like actually like think through how to like, you know, just sort of like play the game. Someone told me a long time ago, and it like hurt my feelings at first, but now I thank them for that, is that they told me, they were like, you know how to play Zelda, you don't know how to play Smash. And like that was, it felt like an insult at first, and I can see how it can sound like one, but what they were telling me is that like, because I only knew how to play Zelda, I really didn't know the nuances of the game. And so because of that, I'd get frustrated and I wouldn't understand like, well, gosh, like there's nothing I can do. You know what I mean? And it's like there is a lot you can do, and it's more based on your movement, and it's based on just knowing what to do in the situations that you're in. So yeah, in disadvantage it can feel very scary, but I think that knowing that you can recover from above the ledge now, knowing that you have to let go in order to grab it.
That's a super...
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, it's no problem, but I think that should help you now. I think knowing that when you're in disadvantage, like neutral air dodge is your best friend, and like this is the fastball air dodge thing I was going to show you. Like this is air dodge, right? Just like normal air dodge. And then this is like fastball air dodge.
Yeah, needing fastball before doing the
exactly. It's a little tricky because if you do it like too quickly close together, you'll do directional air dodge, and that's not what you want.
Yeah.
But it's good because we know now that it's one frame faster in terms of intangibility or invincibility, whatever you want to call it. It's one frame faster than Nehru's. It's only 10 frames of landing lag, so you know you can move very quickly afterwards. But like if I try to do this, it like stops me. It stops my momentum. I still have to finish the animation. It's a lot. It takes a lot more time. If they shield, I'm screwed. Knowing all of that, if you're not using Nehru's in disadvantage, then it's going to allow you to really catch people by surprise. Like, I'm telling you, if you, like, play against a Mario and you, like, actively decide to, like, let him combo you, like, if you can get out, but, like, if you actively let him, like, do his thing and just, like, sort of respect his combo game, that's going to make him feel comfortable. So the next time that he starts going for it, then you can throw it out because he doesn't expect that you're going to do that. You know what I mean? If people are expecting that you're going to if people expect that you're always going to do this, they're going to change their play style if they're good, and they're just going to play with dash and play with shield because they know if they get close to you, a lot of Zelda players, they'll do shit like this. They're like, you know, like stuff like that. And so like all I have to do, if I was Paolo, all I have to do is stand here and just shield. Because if you hit me with up B, I can grab you. If you hit me with Nehru's, I can grab you. If you roll, I can react to the roll and dash back you. Like, so we know that we don't want to use Nehru's in disadvantage. That's what I would tell you your homework should be, is I want you to focus on playing without Nehru's. And you're gonna slip up because it feels very second nature, and that's the problem. Like with all of us, frankly, like that play Zelda, is that like it feels so second nature to just like Nehru's and get them off of you. And I've had
it feels like taking.
And
I'm
that's
not like super spammy with.
Right, and technically it is a tool, but it's, to me, it's an advantage state tool, because like we want the opponent to not expect it, because again, if you, because it's all about conditioning. Like if I'm not using Nehru's at all, and this is like game 2, and I haven't used Nehru's like very much, if at all, maybe only off stage. If I charge Phantom here and someone jumps in on me, now's the time to do it, because, well, I did the Phantom cancel there. But like now's the time to do it, because like that combos, and so it's like, yeah. And so I'll show you what I mean. And Mysterica is just like, I'm gonna use her as an example for everything. I'm gonna stop this stream, and then I'm going to show you. I don't think I showed you this before. It's her set versus Skittles. This is a long time ago. Or wait, it's not this one. That's a recent. This is like a long time ago, but this is like one of like the best Zelda clips I've ever seen in my life. When I saw this, it just really, really made me like really fall in love with Zelda. To me, this is arguably the best that I've ever seen like anyone utilize Zelda effectively, like all her tools. It's kind of nuts. So anyway, to me, this is how you should use Nehru's, okay? So let me show you. Can you see the screen? Okay, just making sure.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of nuts. I'm gonna show it one more time on the stream, because I forgot to share the screen. My bad. But
that's okay. I'm happy to watch that clip.
Yeah, no, I mean, to me, it's literally I tease her about this all the time, but it's my favorite clip that I've ever seen a Zelda player do. So she's in disadvantage right here, right now. She sees an opportunity to get this dare in, and this combo played out perfectly, because I will say she does dare into back hit up tilt, and the back hit up tilt only connected as a true hit because dare has a 7% chance to trip, and it actually happened, so it tripped. So I will say, in just a little fact, if you dare somebody like this and they're behind you, you're going to want to already be buffering up and to the right, to their direction, towards your opponent. So that way when you hit A to do your up tilt, you're going to be buffering a turnaround. Otherwise, it won't be a true follow-up, because we want to turn around our up tilt in this situation, because up tilt hits in front of us and it comes out on frame 7. So since she's facing away, if she does up tilt, front hit will not hit first. The back hit will eventually, it'll be what would hit. So that's what you would want to do in that situation. Anyway, so yeah. So I'm going to just let this clip play, and then I'm going to go over it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like, Mysterica, please. So like, the reason that this works is because she has not been using Nehru's very much up close, because Young Link has like a frame 3 nair. Like they have so much pressure on Zelda's shield so it can stuff her out. And so in this scenario, she does dare to back hit up tilt to full hop nair. It sends behind, and then she does double jump. See how low she double jumps so she doesn't land on the platform. So she waited a little bit. She does double jump back, charge Phantom. Now, right here, she's an advantage, right? And she's not trying to actively hit her opponent with the Phantom. But it's because they thought that she was going to let it rip and do like the level 4 overhead swing. They dodged, and so she throws out Nehru's immediately, and that covers it. So Zelda is best as an option coverage character. That's when her advantage state shines and when she feels like a top tier character. So Phantom goes off. They jump. And then they start Din's Fire. And Din's Fire, I still don't see Zelda's use it like this. And I'm trying to actively remember to use it like this because most of us stay on stage. But the problem, I just will say real fast, is with Din's Fire, people just air dodge it, right? Like you can kill people with it, like if they second guess it, but they just air dodge it. But if you're off stage and they air dodge, Zelda can recover quickly enough to where she can follow up. Dare's frame 14.
Leg, I believe.
100%. And that was a neutral air dodge. That wasn't even a directional air dodge. So like that
it reminds me of like if someone's coming back, you throw out something to air dodge, but they can only air dodge onto the stage. Sort of like creep or predict, force that panic.
Right, 100%. And so this just all like played out so well, and it's just because of like how aware Mysterica is. And you can see like they didn't like even like charging like Din's Fire fully there would have been a problem, but they like barely used it. They like started it and then they already released it, and it was just to get the air dodge to come. So like this is old, but we'll just keep watching real fast. You can see again, use Nehru's here. Technically, they're in an advantageous state, and now they're in an advantageous position because they went past. So see, she used landing Nehru's like right there because they're expecting to get hit once. So they let go because they're like anticipating when you get close to them that their shield's going to be hit. And if you didn't hit their shield, they can still let go and act out of it. So since she puts out the multi-hit, that's why it ends up working. See, and she's maintaining advantage with it. So she hits them, does a run up, does dash attack to cover the tech. If they missed it, they didn't. So then she immediately throws out Nehru's because they tried to retaliate with the frame 6 option. The frame 3 nair, but you got 3 frames to jump, so it's frame 6. So used her little slight frame advantage there as they were getting up from the tech.
She was visible at
intangible
at frame 4, right?
Exactly. So she beats it. But she also was a little bit ahead because you can see here she was already like their kick was already there. So and this is the first frame because this little like bolt looking star thing is right there, but this is and she's white. This is the first frame that she's visible. So she had a couple of frames to work with before they were able to get up in the air. But that keeps the advantage state going. Jump back, charge Phantom. That's where displacement will help you, which we'll go over sometime if you want to. Because if she had displaced Phantom, it would have prevented the arrow from hitting her. So she ended up losing that Phantom, and that can be like make or break against characters like this.
I feel like I know how to do placement movement. I can just never like I always sort of like hop that like 2 centimeters off the ground in the ground.
I see. Okay. So yeah, that's definitely something that I
get that you're doing like a that movement. I can't.
Well, technically, I myself don't do a I myself don't do that, but I will tell you this: you've got 3 frames in your jump squat animation before you're actually like in the air. And so you actually have to have all of the inputs done before your jump squat's over.
Oh, so you have to get the whole.
So you have basically, since there's a 6 frame buffer in this game, which means that you can buffer when you hit a button, it takes 6 frames for it to come out, and then you have a buffer window at the end of your moves. So like that's why if you like do a dash and then you do like, or not a dash, like let's say you do up tilt and then Nehru's, you can hit Nehru's like up to 6 frames before the move ends, before like, so that way you can like buffer Nehru's and it'll still come out at the same timing. So because of that, you have to buffer a lot of your inputs during the, what I do is like my initial dash. So I do it out of a dash. And I can actually show you that like another time, but the last thing I'm going to show you here, I'm going to show you is I think I told you that I started a YouTube channel, and I would let you guys know that are watching, like, definitely you know, drop a follow or subscribe or whatever if you're wanting to see sessions, because the only thing I'm uploading really to this YouTube channel right now is just like Metafy Sessions and tourney runs. But what I want to do is, I don't know if you were able to catch the coin box tournament where I end up fighting against Skittles. But I think it's relevant because I just went over that match with Skittles, with May, or Mysterica, sorry. And so I think I have that right here. And I think what you'll be able to see is me using, yeah, it's right. You'll be able to see me using the placement to really survive. So I'm not going to stop it. I'm just going to let it ride. Now you can see right there.
I remember you something about you use a program as well and have like a. I don't remember how you.
So yeah, I use a hybrid. So my controller is actually a it's like a Pro Controller shell, but it has a GameCube motherboard inside. I use that just because to me it's a lot more convenient because I can plug my controller in and it doesn't run off of a battery. But I do use a Pro Controller because Phantom's inputs are so much easier to use and set up Phantom with that. Because one of the things that you have to do in order to do it effectively is you have to slide, in order to get the input out very quickly, you have to sort of slide from Y to B, or jump to special, basically. And so because of that, you want to be able to do it as fast as possible. So on a Pro Controller, it's much easier to work consistent.
I haven't.
Do you have a Pro Controller?
I do.
Okay, so you'll be much better off.
Yeah, I've been using the right trigger or the R jumps. I haven't been fighting from Y to B.
Now see, like right there, that to me, that's an example of like good ledge trapping. I ran up and did down tilt, but down tilt's only 21 frames, remember? So I was able to dash back, and they had to shield against the Phantom, and then I dashed right back in and grabbed them for shielding the Phantom. So that's what I mean by like not using Phantom as a percentage tool, because like the goal is not to hit them. The goal is to like sort of see what they do, and the only reason I did down tilt was to bait them to do something. It wasn't to hit them with it. I run up down tilt so they do something, but they were already in the middle of doing get up attack, or sorry, not get up attack. They were already starting a get up because they wanted to shield against the Phantom. They're also trying to shield if I do something else. So like if I did an attack in with the Phantom, it's not going to break their shield. So I think a lot of people make that mistake when they ledge trap, is they like try to double up on the pressure, but you can't really break somebody's shield by like, you know, you can't even like fair somebody's shield and then Phantom goes off and it won't break their shield. So it's much better to like just sort of like do something at the ledge to just bait them to do something. And the best thing for that is down tilt, because it covers the ledge for 7 frames. It's active for 7 frames. It's only 21 frames from start to finish. And so you're actionable. So it's just, in my opinion, it's much better to do that than like dash back F smash, because then like, you know, risk versus reward. Reward, cool. They, you know, you F smashed them. They might die. What's the risk? You might get punished. It's super laggy. They could get behind you. They have all the time in the world to get away. It's 49 frames. Like down tilt's 21. Like, so it's the same principle, but just better applied because I'm using a much safer non-committal move. Oh, thanks. And then I'll just play this last game here. And again, you can see like how displacement is helping me survive in this matchup, because Young Link is very fast and has an onslaught of projectiles. You can even see right here, I chose to use Din's Fire at the start and actually stopped his boomerang. So using your Din's Fire in different ways, like Mysterica just did, or like how I just did, it is very good, because a lot of people say, oh, Din's Fire sucks, and most Zeldas only use it when opponents are off stage and then they just recover, and it just feels like a useless move, but it's actually a very good move. A lot of people just don't use it the way I think it's supposed to be used. Now see, like right there, like I'm using Nehru's like in certain situations and I shouldn't be, because you know it's a panic option for sure. I think all of us do it. But like right here's a good example. Like they hit me, and so I could have tried to Nehru's, but I would have lost this opportunity to punish. So I just did a neutral air dodge, and because I recovered so quickly, I was able to get out up tilt. So that's sort of like case in point, like what I was talking about earlier. Also, notice Skittles' decision here. He's in the corner, so he's not in a good position. This is considered disadvantage. He has a percent lead, but he's not in a good position. So rather than like contest me and punish me here, because he could have punished me, he chooses just to get out. That's very good for people to do. I think a lot of people, like when they take their turn, they don't think about taking their turn to just reset neutral or to just get in a better position. They take their turn to attack. And it's like you don't want to always take your turn just to attack. Then you also become predictable. But it's also like just the fact that he was just trying to get to a better position. So anyway.
That's good to point out.
Also, right here during my disadvantage state, like technically right here, I'm in disadvantage because like I missed. So I used up B, but I'm not going to get anything off of up B and teleporting straight up, even if he goes straight up. So I'm using up B. I wish Zeldas did this. Jace and I are like the only Zeldas that do it, the only ones that do this. We will use the opportunity to get a true up B out of shield and teleport away, because it sends them up and away from you. And then, so by the time you recover from your teleport, see, we're both actionable right now. They can't reach you. So to me, that's how the meta should shift for Zelda, is that there should be a lot more Zeldas that are using that first hit, because it's so quick and it's huge, out of shield, to just punish and get out.
Like that, I just often out of shield option.
Yeah, and I think that it can be scary, because it feels like sometimes like when people are pressuring you, sometimes the option that they use on your shield is very, very safe. So like your up B will miss. And if you miss that first hit and teleport out, fast characters can still get to you and punish you. That's where outofshield.com comes in, and I think I mentioned that to you before. I might not have.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Okay.
I know the ultimate.
Okay, so
you said outofshield.com.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you this real fast. So outofshield.com is an excellent resource where you can get out of shield punishes for every matchup in the game. So I'm going to put in my character, which is Zelda, and I'm going to put in Young Link, and I'm going to hit get punish options. And this is going to show me every move that Link, if he lands on my shield, that I cannot punish no matter what because of the character that I play. So Young Link can be pretty oppressive because you can see his Nair, Fair, Bear, Zair, and Side B are all like -2, -3, or -4. So that means that this is important to know because if he lands on my shield with Nair and I do up B, it's not going to hit. Up B is frame 6 out of shield. So this means that if he's -2, if I start up B, it comes out on frame 6. So that means that by frame 4, he's actionable. He's going to be actionable by the actually by the second frame that my up B is out. But my up B still won't be out for 4 more frames because it's frame 6 and he's only down 2 frames. Does that make sense?
It does. This is such a good matchup.
Yeah. So this is very, very informative. I don't know who made this, but you know, I would marry them.
Yeah.
So
are there other websites or tools like this? Matchup data or
so something I like to also use is this KuroganeHammer.com. It's a weird name, but I like this because this is the Smash Ultimate Stage Blast Zone data, and you can see like, okay, how high is each blast zone? So it's like if I'm fighting Bowser, or not Bowser's not a good example. Let's say I'm fighting Donkey Kong. Well, Battlefield, the top blast zone is high. It's 192, so it's probably going to be really hard for me to kill him off the top. So if I want to kill him off the top, I'd probably want to go somewhere like Pokemon Stadium 2 or let's say Yoshi's Island Brawl, which isn't really legal. But like I can pick the stages that have the lower numbers here because that
this will be useful. I think I have the most on Final Destination to use it relative to Final Destination.
Yeah, so I'll post these websites in the Discord. Yeah, so going back to the frame data here, we can see that Zelda up B, this is where it gets good. Now, any move where it says punishable using up B, any move that comes after where it says punishable using means that you can use it to punish everything else. So yeah, I can't use up B to punish any of these, but if they do jab 2 on my shield, like if I know that they jab me and then they do the second jab, I can up B them before they can get to their rapid jab. If they do down tilt on my shield, it's -7. So that means as long as I buffer it, which again, it's a lot of specifics, but I think that this is important for me to show you as well. I'm going to go back to the game screen here, and then I'm going to show you this, and we'll probably wrap up the session after we finish the Skittle set. But this is pretty important to show. So I'm going to stop streaming that. Let me share screen so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay. Can you see me versus Palu? Can you see me versus Palu right now?
Yes.
Okay. So it's going to be a little difficult to show this, but I'm going to do my best. So if I'm holding shield, if you try this, I promise it works. So in Smash Ultimate, you can't really the C-stick is a good way to explain this. So like if you smack your C-stick, like right now, like I'm hitting it once and she'll do an F-tilt, but if I keep hitting it, it won't come out. It prevents you from mashing moves like that with the C-stick. Yeah.
That it would come out.
Right. So because of that, you actually have something that you can sort of do out of shield that's similar. So if I'm holding shield and I'm holding up and I'm mashing the B button, I'm not doing any up B out of shield, right? However, if I only do it once, I will. even if I'm still holding shield. So what's really useful is you can be
You don't have to let go of shield. Right?
Yeah, you don't have to drop shield. Because that's sort of like why it means out of shield. So what's weird is in shield, you can jump out of shield, you can up smash out of shield, and you can also up B out of shield.
The whole time I've just been trying to be perfect.
Oh, and like dropping your shield and doing up B. So I'm glad.
Yes.
Here's why I'm glad that we're addressing that. When you drop your shield, there's actually a 11 frame animation where you can't do anything. So if I hold shield here and I drop shield, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now my jab starts. Because that's your parry animation. However, there is one thing you can do out of that animation. There's only one thing that you can do to cancel it. So I'm dropping my shield here, but I'm starting a jump. So you can cancel that animation with jump. So just gonna go over this real.
Yeah. So why I've never been up B out of shield, because I didn't know that was a.
Because you're dropping it.
So as like a compensation, I've developed lightning kick out of shield, and it works, but it's not exactly like.
Well, it works, but like, what if they're right, and what if they're this close? It's not gonna sweet spot. So you actually have to be able to. Let me turn this off. You have to be able to jump straight up out of shield and do your kick like that. So that you're having to compensate. So yeah. Well, I'm glad that we figured that out for you. I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah. I think this is coming down to my lack of technique.
Well, but the thing is that, you know, it's hard to know what we don't know. So like this is why these sessions, and this is why like Metafy and just coaching and all that stuff in general is just very, very useful. It's why I don't care who you are. Like even if you're a coach, you should have a coach. The reason I was bringing all that up, and this is like I said, the final like tech point I'm going to end on today, because this is very helpful for disadvantage, is when you're in shield, if I'm mashing up B, I'm not going to get up B out of shield. It's not going to happen. Not until I let go of shield, because I'm mashing it. But if someone hits my shield while I'm doing this, I will frame perfectly buffer it. So it's going to be a little hard to show because I'm only working with a computer here. But this is what an option select is. An option select is when you can do one input for something, and it will do two different things depending on what happens in the game. So I'm doing one input here, and I'm not being attacked, and I'm just holding shield. But CPU behavior, CPU. So right here, like, let me let my shield refresh real fast. The other thing is that
was while mashing.
It was while mashing, but once you have the opportunity, you do let go. You have to let go. So let me try this again. So as long as you let go of shield, after you can still be mashing it. As long as you let go, it's going to work. And the reason that happens is because the game doesn't detect that anything is like a threat. So I'm able to still get it like frame perfect. Because
that's so much easier.
Yeah, so that is when you want to do what you've been doing, which is where you're going to let go of shield. But just because you're letting go of shield doesn't mean that your up B is not coming out as quick. I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully it does. So,
and you said if you only once it rides the let go, or did I miss something?
So basically, like right here, like if I'm not holding any direction, and then I hit up B, like just from here, it won't.
Yeah.
But since I'm holding up, see how my animation, like my character is like,
yeah.
now I'm hitting
Raising
B
the
and it,
shield up.
yeah. So now it's not doing anything. So that's me having to like let go of shield so the up B comes out. But I can still mash the B button and it'll still come out. So like that's the important part here. Is it's what's happening is I'm not dropping shield and then like waiting for that animation to happen and then I'm up Bing because I'm able to up B out of shield. I'm just letting go of the shield button so that way the game knows I'm trying to use my up B out of shield. It's a little weird. It's just like like you said, it's just the technical side of things.
Yeah. Sense though, like I'm comprehending.
Yeah. So it just takes practice, but what I'm like at all, but like what I mean is that you can be in certain situations where someone hits your shield with something that you're like you want to make sure that you punish and you know like, oh, okay, well, according to, you know, ultimateframedata.com, this move comes out on this frame, and according to outofshield.com, this character I can punish with up B. So going back to this, so this right here, it says like up air, jab, neutral B, F tilt. So like if Young Link F tilts my shield, I know that I can get up B. But I know I can also get up smash, nair, fair, bear, whatever. But like let's say they were close and I want to do up B. I can already be mashing before he hits my shield. Right? Now I don't do this, but I'm just saying you can. If it makes the timing easier. You can already be mashing the B button. And then as soon as they hit your shield, all you do is let off of your shield, but your shield, you're still going to be in shield stun because they made a connection with your shield. So you still have to wait out those frames. But since I let go of shield and I'm just hitting the B button, I will still perfectly up B out of shield. That's why that works that way. It's just, it's weird. But I think that since we've established that you've just been like dropping shield first and then doing up B,
Yeah.
this will be enough to fix it. It's just the other thing is depending on, you know, if you're comfortable or if you're not. So let's go back. Can you see the game screen here? Okay. Okay, let's try to go back to this. And okay. So this is game 2. Missed the telecancel there, but it's fine because the hit still covered me. Something people do a lot in this situation is they like to, that's how, I went up here to just sort of cover 2 different areas at once, but they will do jump from ledge air dodge, which dodges the phantom. But I did up tilt after that, and I was just waiting. Right, like you can see me just teeter for a second, and then I do up tilt to sort of cover if, you know, him going past me with the air dodge. So that ended up working. I know, like, in my personal opinion, like, or in my personal experience, rather, I've been in situations where I've played against people and they'll just constantly jump air dodge from the ledge, and it feels like I don't know what to do. So Zelda having platforms is crucial. Like, some people like ban FD against Zelda, and I think that like good players should feel comfortable on that stage.
Where I'm most comfortable. I haven't really how to size the platforms properly.
Yeah, and we can go over that more in advantage, but like you can see like right there, that's a perfect situation where, you know, me choosing to go to the platform instead of like running up and doing something would have been fine because I have been running up and like remember I did run up down till they got up shielded. I looked for the grab. So they're aware of that. So now they're like, well, I need to just get the fuck out of that situation so they can't do that to me. I was sort of expecting that. So that's sort of why I went to the platform. Because the other thing is I can always dash back and go back to center. I just don't want to let them get past me. And so that's why that ended up working out. You can see how I hit with back hit up tilt there, and I got punished. You can see like right here. They go behind me. I should have turned around my up tilt. If I had, I would have hit them. But because up tilt is so big, even though this isn't here yet, this is what I was talking about with spacing. So if I look at up tilt, they're right next to me, so I hit them like right here because of this hitbox. This hitbox is what hit them right here. So now I still have to wait for all of that. I have to sit through all of that before I can do anything. So and so what happens? Touch a shield, got punished because I was too close. So. And see, like, making decisions like this, where, like, I could have, like, right here, I could have tried to run back and hit him. I could fall through, try to bear. I could do a lot of things, but I'm like, nope, I'm just going to run away, and I'm going to play my game. If this is where phantoming in neutral works, because you're opting to use your advantage to reset to neutral. Because in my advantage state right now, high risk, like, I'm at 92%, so, like, and I already, as you can see, I just sort of, like, gambled. Like, I got up from stage. I tried to, like, down tilt, dash attack. Like, so I already did my little, like, I'm going to try to fight you right here. And this was very risky because I could have gotten punished and died because my ass is right on the corner of the stage. But what I'm doing now is I'm just using my advantage state and saying, okay, I'm going to reset neutral. And because I'm leaving advantage and going into neutral, that's when Phantom in neutral works. When Phantom in neutral doesn't work is when we're using it just from a neutral state after we've been in neutral for a while. If you've been in neutral for a while and then you just set up Phantom, like, it's not likely to work. Now, granted, Phantom did hit him, go figure. But even if Phantom didn't hit there, it still allows me to cover what I want, which is stage control. So, like, that's the only reason that I ended up doing that there. And you can see there, that's the only shield break that, like, Zelda has a couple of shield breaks, but, like, this is one of her better ones. I was surprised this even worked on him. But I just happened to notice when I did jump back charge Phantom here, and he grabbed the ledge that I've practiced this times, but, like, I was in position to telecancel. So yeah. I decided to just...
So did you telecancel from on the closer edge of the platform?
Oh, yeah. So you're looking at that telecancel. Right? Yeah. So, yeah, that's a specific telecancel Zelda can do. She has to be teetering. And it's out of a short hop.
Oh, and a jump.
Yeah, it's a short hop specifically, and you have to make sure that you're doing up B while rising. So you can't short hop and then up B. You have to short hop up B. And I'm able to do that because of the Pro controller. So I'm already holding up during this teeter. I'm already holding up here. Like, I'm already holding up, and then I'm just I'm sliding from my jump button. I use X for this, but I slide from X to B, so, like, straight down. So since I'm already holding up, I, like, buffer short hop, and then I immediately buffer up B as soon as I barely rise. Okay. So that way...
Did you C-stick to the edge?
Nope.
Or did you hold down and it does that, like, forward?
So basically, in this specific scenario, like, I'm just holding down here. This cancel is just, like, something that I wouldn't recommend trying until you've practiced it enough, because any cancels where you're
gonna kill yourself.
Right. It's much better for people starting out with cancels to do cancels off of the platform, because in that scenario, if you screw it up, at least you don't fall off and die. You can get punished, but at least you don't fall off and die. So that's, like, a decent way to start. But anyway, after doing the Nehru's and then jump back, by the way, this is me using Nehru's to keep my advantage state here. Like, I just, he threw it, so I just knew I could whiff punish him with it, so. Right, and create that space and then set up that set up that shield break. Now, I have a lead, and this is what we'll talk about in advantage, is like how you want to play when you have a lead. You still have to be very aware of like what your opponent is expecting, and you have to make sure that like the gambles that you take are not going to be as you can't be as risky, because not only do I not want to die here, which I that was a risk, but I don't want to die here, but I definitely don't want to die here just because like sure I have 2 stocks to back me up, but like I want to like this is where I think some people mess up, is because like I need to play as safe as possible because I have to keep this stock, right? Like I cannot let them have any opportunity to possibly get ahead of me. And so some people feel a little like, I know when I first started I was like, oh well, you know, I'm fine, like I have another like stock, it's fine. But like you can also see right here, up tilt is kind of busted, it's disjointed because I literally beat his sword here. So just good to know. But like I was saying, it's very important to try to maintain, you know, and like right there, that was just like a telecancel I shouldn't have probably done. Like if anything, I probably should have just fast fell and just landed and held shield, because they probably would have done that nair and I would have been fine. But I was being a little too aggressive, which is what got me killed. And you can see because of that one mistake that like I start to get a little bit behind. And like they're on their last stock, so they're playing like, you know, like it's, I mean, well, like it's their last stock, right? And you'll see that like I think I get a little shaken up because I'm starting to take a lot of damage. And what am I doing in my disadvantaged state that's wrong? I want you to point it out.
You're trying to take,
right, trying to hit them back. I'm in disadvantage. So if I have the fundamental rule that I am not allowed to hit them back yet because I've not earned the right, then then this won't happen. Then I won't. By trying to escape your disadvantage by attacking, you're just extending your disadvantage, and that's clearly what I'm doing here. Like he just punished me for trying
I think that's my problem. When I say I play too aggressively, I think that's what I mean.
Is that you play too aggressively in disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think I'm seeing what my problem is.
Yeah, so the only solution is,
or where most of my bad habits come
from. Right. And you know, they're not necessarily like bad habits. It's just like, because those habits, like you formed them, like, you know, getting like you were successful when you did those things before. So, you know, those things worked for you. But in this specific scenario, like we're seeing that like how easy it is to like try to hit somebody back, and it's just like the damage keeps back piling on. I mean, like I'm at 10% here, so my goal should be, okay, jump back, charge Phantom. But at this spacing, it's like, okay, well I can't jump back, charge Phantom because like I don't have enough space. So what do? Try to use an Arus. Try to dare. Now I'm at 74%. I was at 10. Now I'm at 89%. Now I'm at 108. Now I'm at 125. Like just from constantly trying to hit them back. You can see me standing right here because I'm literally like, okay, bitch, relax. And that's important to have, because some, like I know at the beginning of this game, like I did not possess that ability. I did not possess the ability to recognize that I was doing that, right? Because like you feel like you're just playing the game, you're just trying to fight, like, so you don't think about stuff like that. Should have dared there, but that's another. And that got me out of the situation. And then I just happened to like recognize that situation. Like this is like the advantage state type of stuff. Is that like I'm in advantage. So right here, it's like he probably thinks I'm gonna charge another Phantom. And if I had just fast fell and charged another Phantom, his arrow here that he does probably would have beat me. But because like I'm already up here doing this, he like already made his decision. And then so that's what like, you know, allowed me to like get that stock. So girl, that was the set. Kioma, I just showed you. What are you talking about? Anyway, so I appreciate, like, as usual, like you staying past like the, you know, the time. Like I know I'm very elaborate when I explain things, but I just
I like that, so I
okay, good.
appreciate you.
Sure, good. I want to make sure that like all things are covered. Um, you didn't see anything. What? Oh my God, girl, I'm so trash. I'm sorry, guys. That's awful. I didn't realize, but the stream wasn't on share stream. I didn't even realize. Anyway, y'all, I'm sorry. Anywho, um, that you've at least seen what I'm talking about. I hope going over those things gives you a better idea of how to, um, take care of yourself in disadvantage and having those fundamental rules for yourself of trying to use Nehru's as only an advantage. That'll throw your opponent for a loop for sure. So actively deciding to not use Nehru's in disadvantage, actively knowing if you're in disadvantage, it is not your turn to hit them back yet. You're a Zelda. You don't have a disjoint. You do not have quick safe aerials that you can throw out because that's what other people do to us. Mario, he can just like if he's in disadvantage, he can throw out an air. It's like if he misses, like he probably won't because it's frame 3, but if he misses, he recovers very quickly from it. We don't have that luxury. We're a different archetype. We're a different character. So you have not earned the right to hit your opponent back yet. The last thing is knowing that you can let go from when you're recovering, that you can recover from above and you won't be two framed, and that you let go of the ledge as you're teleporting into it. You should grab it, that way you don't teleport past it. And then also we know now that we can up B and up smash out of shield. We don't have to drop shield. So sounds to me like we've covered some pretty good things for you today. Yeah.
Buffering up B out of shield, that only work with up B or buffer other attacks happen to good out of shield.
So technically, from what I know, you should be able to buffer you can buffer any, like as long as you can do it out of shield, excuse me, you can buffer it out of shield for sure. So like any aerial, because you can jump out of shield, means that you can fair out of shield, you can bear out of shield, you can dare out of shield, you can up out of shield, you can nair out of shield, you can up smash out of shield, you can up B out of shield, you can jump out of shield. Those are like literally the only, you can grab out of shield. Those are the only things that you can do out of shield. But you can buffer any of them. I just know that the up B thing is very specific, and I think the reason that it happens is if you hold shield and you also hold down the B button, if I guess this is important for your disadvantage as well, you can angle your shield, but you won't ever roll, right? So like if I'm holding shield and I immediately hold the B button, you can't Nehru's out of shield, so you don't have to worry about like accidentally doing something if you push the B button while you're in shield and you're not holding a direction already. If you're holding both of those down, shield and the B button, then you can start using the stick to angle your shield. And a lot of people don't do that, but sometimes like if someone's like landing on you with an aerial, it can be really good for you to like put your shield towards them because they're hitting your shield sooner. So that means that instead of them being able to like land on your shield safely, like they're hitting your shield sooner and then they're landing. So it's like it's creating like a different timing mix up, and it can make or break certain situations. So I think that that's important to know, but I think the up special is like the only thing that you can like mash, and I think it has something to do with the fact that if you hold shield and hold the B button, you won't do anything. So I think if you're mashing the B button, it detects that, it thinks that you're basically doing what I just said, like holding shield and holding B. But you're just pushing B so close together that we can't mash, right? Because I showed you with the F tilt. So it's considering that you're just both. So yeah.
Clarification.
Oh, of course. And yeah, like I do apologize. I know sometimes like I might be a little hard to understand because I talk a lot and I sort of jump from place to place. But I think that's why, like you always have the ability to reach out to me and ask me any questions you have. And then of course you're always going to have the VODs now, because this will be uploaded to YouTube later today. So anyone that's just tuning in, if you want to be able to check out the VOD, you definitely can. I'm going to go ahead and end the session with you if you don't have any more questions for today. Okay.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course, you're welcome. Um, we'll go ahead and get your next session set up soon. If you want to do that later today, that'd be good. So that way I can like sort of coordinate that with my schedule for next week. Does the same time, like from today, does the same time next Monday work for you?
That does. That works.
Okay, cool. And we'll go over advantage state. We'll go over like just placement. We'll go over a few other things. I can't go as in depth because we want to cover advantage, which is confirms, positioning, stage control, and then ledge trapping. So we have a lot to go over in our next session. Um, but just keep that in mind. And I wish you well. I appreciate your dedication to learning and being a student of the game. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, Dave.
So much.
You're
You as
welcome.
well.
Thanks. Bye. Oh my god, I feel like I talk so fucking much. Girls, I be like, oh my god, shut up. I want to end the session and go. But that's just me projecting. Okay, so like you guys want to see the set, so I'm so sorry. So I'll play it out real fast. Go back here. Okay. Oh, and not much. I'm just chilling. We just did a Metafy session, Maximus, and let me. We're gonna watch my set with Skittles real fast. I'm gonna play some music now, though. Ooh, I'm actually gonna play something for y'all. Let's see. Only file. Okay. Haha, y'all thought I was gonna pull up OnlyFans. So I made an edit of a new song by Kim Petras that leaked, but I didn't like the way that it sounded, so I like made my own little version of it, like, and it's good. It's pretty good. Anyway, so I'm gonna play this, and hopefully it's not like blaring loud. So this is a remix that I made. So it's a song called "Hit It From the Back." It's not out yet. It's supposed to be coming out, but it leaked, and it felt unfinished. So I made my own version. I added like new instruments. I added new vocals. Um, you know the I'ma let you hit it from the back. But yeah, like I made that because like the original version or the version that leaked, like it's good, but it just feels like it's so empty. It just feels like there's really nothing going on. Like the intro is very like blah. The verses are very like dry. So I added like a lot. Like I spent 6 hours on it last night. I made an acapella of the song. I like filtered the instrumental, or I filtered the original song, and I ended up like there's a lot and I would love to talk about it, but I know that everybody's here for Smash. But like for example, like in the verses, like there's this small part in the verses where she does like this, oh, you and I could be in paradise, oh. And so I just like took the oh, like that part, like I was off key there, but I took the just the O's and I like put that in the chorus because I was like, that sounds much better. Y'all should have put that there. You know what I mean? So like so I actually use a program called FL Studio. This is it right here. Um, so like you can see, like I really don't want this to like blow up everybody's ears. So uh, I'll, let me see if I can this. Except a fun fact about me is like I actually make music. I just haven't made music in a really really long time. Um, but yeah, like I definitely use FL Studio for like a lot. There's like a lot of effects and everything. So like just like little things, like there's like this how do I explain this? So the original song, let me see if I can just play the original song for y'all. So I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but like okay, so like this is how the original starts, okay? This is the original song. Like I like it because it's Kim Petras, and I like it because it's like, you know, talking about getting fucked. Like who wouldn't love that? But like this for an intro, this does to me this does not scream like radio friendly single, you know. So that's why like I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna make my own. So that's why like you can see that like I put the O's here, and I wanted it to sound like it was fading in. Because I love that effect. So that's why like you can barely hear her say hit it from the back, but it's like sounds like it's sort of underwater. That's called uh modulation, and that's by using these effects right here called the cutoff and the resonance. You can see that these lines like fade up, and and this red one fades down, and this is over the vocal. So that's why the vocal like starts out really low. And like that synth that it has is like very basic. So like I made this. So like that's that, but that's why like even here I don't even use that whole thing because I don't want to give it all right at the beginning, right? Because the song shouldn't do that. Which is I understand like why that's probably why they only had like that little synth at the beginning, but it's just not enough. But then I cut it. You can see here, then it comes back in. And so I thought that that made like a very unique sound by like cutting the pattern here. And there's like nothing. And then the full thing comes in. So like with everything on, You can also hear her going back, back, back. So that's all this right here. There was also no like risers. I'm like, girl, what? There's no risers. A riser is a sound like this. Like you can barely hear it, but it's kind of like this, like there were no fucking risers in the song, so it just doesn't feel like anything's building. So like a riser helps get that point across. So then you've got like this here too. Sounds like wind or something, you know? And then the frequency sort of like evens out. So like you put all that together. And then the kick wasn't very strong, so I added this kick here. Kick has like a ride on it, which is like this sound. You can barely hear it, but it makes it feel more full. And then like the second pattern, like that. It sounds very basic, but when you put it in the song, and like that's just another thing I added was like this right here. Baby, 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 baby. So etc. So anyway, the last thing I'll show you guys, because I'm getting way off topic here, are like these O's. It's gonna sound a little abrasive, but like so again, like all together. And like so you can hear like it just it gives it a little bit more fullness, and so it doesn't sound so empty. The last sound that I made was an arpeggio, and it's this. Very basic. It reminds me of the song Hella Good from No Doubt. You guys know that song? You got me feeling hella good, so let's just keep on dancing. You know that song? It's sort of like the chorus, like to me it sounds like that, so it just fits. And it sort of gives it just a little bit more like of a bouncy feel. Anyway, thanks for staying around for my fucking FL Studio fucking moment. Anywho, let me play that fucking last game. Sorry, I got like way sidetracked there, but I appreciate you guys listening. I'm gonna play some other song. Okay. surprised he didn't punish me for that dash attack. That was a pretty clean kill. I was proud of that because so many people would get past me, and that's why I don't like FDE. Because they'll just like jump air dodge, and if I'm focused on like the ledge trap, then I'm not like considering that. So this was like one of the first times that I had ever like punished that. It was cute. Like, it wasn't like super crazy, but yeah, it was cute just because like I felt good that I was like in the right place, and definitely made me feel like I had a very strong start. Oh, Kiyomi, you're gonna love this, bitch. You're gonna absolutely love it. Bye. Hit it from the back. Literally, her bear on their shield. Bitch. I felt so good. I'm like, okay, this is fucking Skittles. I'm fucking on game 2 and I'm 3 stocks up. Like, yeah, all the movement. And did you see me just do like the first fall through up air of my life on a platform? Like, it didn't even work, but like, I don't care. It feels good. Now, everything else I do after this, I'm super shitty about. Because like, I was getting way too aggro. I was getting way too aggressive, but it's okay. I cannot believe my up tilt beat his fucking dare. See, and right there, I should have just fast fell. I'm glad I'm watching this again because it just tells me that like I need to mix in doing nothing more out of telecancel, and I also need to mix in doing Waveland. I'm always like going for a hit, and I'm like, girl, just you don't have to always do that because you have to keep them guessing. Yeah, my up tilt, like my magic beating a sword, like literally. See, I keep like trying to, like he's got me at 125%. Like, so this is all happening. As soon as I got hit by that, as soon as I got fucking hit by that boomerang, bitch, I was like, okay, all right, I'm done. And I could have died right there, but I didn't. I'm like taking so much damage because I'm constantly trying to hit them back. I should have died there. Should have dared there. Most people air dodge because they're, you know. So yeah, that ended up working out. That's one of the best wins I've ever gotten on Wi-Fi. So that felt very, very, very gratifying. Anyway, y'all, I appreciate you guys coming out. I'm sorry I got a little like off topic and shit, but like, yeah, that's me. So I'm actually not sorry. But anyway, I'm going to be heading to the gym, and then I'm actually going to be streaming again in like literally an hour. So I will literally be back in an hour. I'm going to be doing a session with another student, and so yeah, I will be back. I'm gonna eat some lunch and go to the gym and try to get this all done very, very quickly. So I'll see you guys. Thanks for being here. And like I said, if you're not doing anything today, I'll be back in literally an hour. So I'll see you guys around. Bye. Hit it from the back.